Hi everyone. Today we are here with Jacob Rothenberg, and I'm going to interview this self-publisher. And let's talk about self-publishing in this interview. So I would like you to explain a bit about your journey as a self-publisher and how you start and how new beginners can start and where you are at this point in your
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me on the channel, Jordan. I really appreciate it. I've been a fan of yours for over a year and a half, and I know more about you than you probably realize, so I'm thankful to be on the channel.
thank you.
Um, so my journey with life in general is a little bit weird, and this is something that most people don't know yet about me. I had a unique upbringing. So I started college at the age of 11, graduated university at the age of 16, started working right after college, and got my master's, blah, blah, blah. And I was doing well professionally with sales and my career in international sales. But even though I was making a good salary, after so many years, I realized I was waking up 4:30 in the morning so that I could drive 90 minutes and 70 kilometers one way to get to work. And while I enjoyed my job and it was a good job, it wasn't what I wanted to really do, and how I didn't find fulfillment from that in my life. So I've always been interested in internet marketing as a teenager, and I've dabbled around. I had websites and blogs, but the most I ever made was like 300 a month, so, because I didn't really have direction and I didn't have a good mentor. But eventually, almost 4 years ago, I discovered Kindle Publishing. And what that is, well, I'm sure your audience knows what it is. But I started just innocently writing ebooks based on a website I had to promote my website. I had no idea you could make money with ebooks by publishing on Kindle. But then I, through time, found out with the ebooks I was publishing, I was making 200 a month, then 400 a month, then 600 a month. I'm like, wow, the money I'm making from these ebooks is actually out earning what I make from my website. There's opportunity here. So then from there, I started out with a couple courses. I eventually scaled up to making a full-time income. And I think 2 years ago, I was able to quit my job and really do this at a high level.
So you started the publishing business about 2 years ago, and
I actually started in January of 2017, and I quit my job for the last time in September of 2018.
but so my question is like along your journey, at least with me, what I noticed is that my first few books didn't do much money when I published them, but then all of a sudden I started doing a lot of money once I kind of got into a specific keywords and I saw that this was extremely profitable. In my case, it was with diet cookbooks. So I'm wondering if you had like a similar experience where you all of a sudden just saw, oh, these books are doing a lot of money, and I'm going to start publishing more books about this topic.
You know, honestly, looking back, I was actually somewhat lucky. Again, I was writing my own books, but it was for the niche of powerlifting. I used to
Yes,
compete in powerlifting for the last 10 years, and that's a keyword where if you do your keyword research, it doesn't look like it's very profitable, but there's not a lot of competition. So I wrote I think, some good content that people liked, and it was enough to make 500, 600 a month. And hey, I mean,
but
starting out from zero, that's actually a lot of money when you're just starting out and you're making this magical internet money.
yes.
But honestly, I had a good start with publishing. My first few books were immediately profitable. I didn't have an unprofitable book until maybe a year in, so I guess I was one of the lucky ones that saw success quickly.
And what about reviews? I know this is kind of a controversial conversation among the Kindle publishing community, but did you start by basically getting fake reviews for your books?
I'll tell you the truth on this, Jordan. Starting out, no, because I didn't know what fake reviews were before buying any course.
Yes.
So I would go on like Reddit, promote my book, and tell people on Reddit they can have a free copy in exchange for reviewing my book. That's how I got reviews. But for the stuff that I had ghostwritten, what I learned in the courses I took back then, I won't name names, but these courses were teaching as a standard practice to use review swaps. And honestly, I didn't know better. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but if a course is telling you you do these review swaps, it must be the method of getting reviews, and it should be okay. Or rather, it's not something that you can get in trouble for. However, I never liked it because you have to find the VA. The VA might scam you. The reviews get deleted after a while, and I just never liked doing it. But of course, for keywords like cryptocurrency and other stuff, I have my share of doing review swaps too, but I never liked doing it.
Yes. What I've noticed with the review swaps is like back in the days, like 2 years ago, it was something that I mean, it never. I wouldn't say it's something good to do, but it was quite effective. But nowadays, with Amazon, they are constantly doing like these seasons where they just delete all of the reviews from your books. Like one day you have 40 reviews, and past a few days you just have like 4 or 5 reviews. And I honestly, I did this for a lot of my books. I did a lot of review swapping because it's one of the, at least it's still probably one of the fastest ways to get reviews, but it's not the most effective one. But I've noticed that from your teachings that you kind of talk about getting honest reviews and so on. So could you just explain a bit about of course, I'm not saying for you to share your secrets, but you could share just some tips about how people could go about getting honest reviews or legal reviews,
Sure.
whatever you want to call them.
Jordan, the truth is that there are no secrets. So I will share exactly what I do. And ironically, the method I use to get reviews is actually faster than review swaps. So, and people pay me to use my method, literally. So one of the easiest ways is to build up an email list of subscribers or readers. And this can be done with nonfiction too. But what you ideally would like to do is have readers join a newsletter in exchange for a lead magnet, meaning a free piece of content that can deliver value to your readers. If it's something like, and I'll get to this later, like low content, if you're promoting something like crossword puzzles and kids' activities, you can give a free crossword book in exchange for a email to sign up for a newsletter. And once you have a list, I have a list that is about 26,000 subscribers large.
Yeah,
when I have sales and I need reviews, I can say, hey guys, I've got this new release out. If you want to check it out, I'm actually going to give this to you for free. All I ask is that you leave a free, I'll leave an honest review on Amazon after you're done reading it. And believe it or not, people leave reviews out of gratitude of getting the book for free. And that's one of the easiest and obviously white hat ways to get reviews.
And have you had problems with Amazon still deleting your reviews that way?
With that method, not at all. It sticks because the customers reviewing are real people that buy books on a genuine basis, and the reviews are real. And I don't want to get too much into it, but the VAs, Amazon is smart. They have algorithms that can detect fraudulent behavior or behaviors that don't match that of a real customer. So my reviews don't get deleted.
Yes. But I still notice sometimes some authors and also publishers, I think they get honest reviews and they still complain a bit about getting the reviews deleted. So
yeah,
probably Amazon has got better over the years with that, but yeah.
It's getting better and it will continue to get better, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think eventually swapping reviews will be something that is just not effective anymore, and people will probably stop doing them.
I think we're already there, but it'll be completely ineffective soon.
What about tips for beginners? Some ideas of where new publishers can start, and some ideas just to get them in this journey of publishing books inside of Amazon.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tips I could give to a beginner. But assuming that someone is just like learning how to do publishing, they maybe haven't bought a course yet, all I'll say for now, for those starting out, you want to obviously research for keywords that are profitable, but don't have a lot of too much competition. So I think everyone tries starting out with a recipe book or a diet book, seeing that the rankings are great. However, you have to realize there's just too much competition in most of those keywords. So look for something that's profitable, but make sure Tony Robbins doesn't publish a book based on your niche. Make sure that you're not against publishers that have 3,000 reviews, because you'll have no chance. Find keywords that maybe have some books that have 40 or 50 reviews, and you'll have a much better chance of competing against other publishers, essentially, for a keyword. That's tip number one. Tip number two is to learn how to set up an effective launch strategy. So why do I bring this up? Amazon favors books in its algorithm, ideally when they can get as many sales as possible throughout the first about 14 to 21 days of its launch. So if you're able to get a lot of sales for a book in the first 3 weeks, it gets to be considered like sticky, to where the algorithm will favor the book and maybe even rank it well for the keyword. So any legitimate marketing practices you can do to promote the book, and that'll be tip number three, is to use off-platform marketing. Don't rely on just publishing on Amazon and putting the book out and then forgetting about it. You have to actively promote your book. So aside from Amazon ads, which is the obvious, you have to use off-platform advertising, which is promoting your book on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. You have to be savvy with your marketing in order to get not only sales, but even reviews, so that you have a reliable source of sales until you can have it organically ranked and then have it really passive. So those are three tips I can immediately give.
But about the promoting inside of Facebook and Instagram, are you talking about paid ads or in a free way, in an organic way?
Right. So that's a great question. I personally, I've spent literally $250,000 of my own money the past year and a half on Facebook ads. You don't need to do that, however, if you're new. What I recommend for most of you people is absolutely rely on free methods. Go to other groups related to your niche, be a part of the community, make friends with the administrators, and once you are comfortable with the community and people like you, you can likely be allowed to promote your book, even if it's for free, and get reviews, or even better, get sales for your release. So it's just about being savvy with your marketing overall.
Okay, that's great. I've noticed along your YouTube channel where you seem to talk quite a lot about providing low content books. And I think that is a great way for, especially people who are starting out, they don't have much money to order books from a ghostwriter company for them to start with not much money. So could you talk more about low content books, provide some tips about that and so on, some ideas?
Sure. So honestly, low content is how my Kindle Publishing income when I started out really jumped up. And I was doing low content without even realizing that it was low content. And I'll explain quickly what low content is. So most publishers' courses would advise you to publish 30,000 word books because it's long, it's substantial, and it also reaches a 3-hour narration mark for audiobooks. However, that can also be very expensive if you're starting out. You're looking at an investment of over $1,000 if you're going through a ghostwriting company to have that done. And starting out, I didn't have a lot of spare cash either. So low content is the notion that you can publish a book with either relatively fewer words or very little words and just have illustrations. So, and I'll share one of my keywords. I got started in 2017 with a fidget spinner book. It was a guide on different fidget spinner tricks. If anyone remembers that toy. And it scaled my income from $1,000 a month to almost $3,000 a month instantly. And it was a book that cost me only $150 to produce, and it probably made me back in my lifetime over $30,000.
Oh,
There's other ways to go about it, such as books for kids' activities, crossword puzzles, illustrations that kids can draw in for coloring books, activity books. You can get creative about it and either not spend a lot of money or even just design it yourself on Canva. I have a student by the name of Allison who designed a book herself with the Would You Rather joke book. She made the book in one day on Canva.com, and it's probably made her at this point over $100,000 in a year. Literally, $100,000 in a year from a
that's a
book
lot of
she
money.
made for free in one day.
That's crazy. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you seem to focus a lot in the uh, nonfiction books for kids. I've noticed that along your videos.
It's an easy market, and it's a profitable market with keywords that are very visible. There's not a lot of difficulty in finding profitable books there.
Yes, and many publishers out there don't really talk much about that niche inside of Amazon, I notice. And
Nah. I think either because they don't know about it well enough, or they're keeping it a secret
I
because that's
still
where a lot of the money is.
I still tried to publish a book in the kids niche. It was a riddles book, but it didn't do that well. But yeah, I gotta try again publishing more books inside of that niche, because it seems like a great way for you to publish some low content books. And these books have like how many pages, just to give an idea?
It can be anywhere from 30 to 50 to 70 pages. I have coloring books that I outsource because I'm not an illustrator, that I have as maybe with 40 or 50 illustrations, like a unicorn coloring book. I outsource it to a cheap country that has freelancers that are good but are cheap to hire. And it can only cost me $50 or even $100 to have created. And if it's like a $50 book, all I have to do is sell 50 copies of it in my lifetime to receive my return on investment. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities with low content. Although I'll be honest, because more people are realizing about it, it's starting to get more saturated now. So
Yeah, of course.
for you, I would say don't rely on just putting out one riddle book and hoping it sells. You have to put the money for the creating a brand. Get several books out. I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars, but maybe start out with 5 books, get a brand going, and set up some social media marketing plan so that I can get momentum.
Yeah, and this book sells especially well in paperback and also ebook, especially in paperback. I don't
Especially
think
paperback.
I mean, in audiobook, it's not something that it's that profitable.
No.
Okay, so you could provide some last advice, some last ideas to conclude this interview. What do
I think I've given a lot of practical, actionable information, but as far as like the mindset and the attitude you need to have to really succeed with publishing, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been trying to make publishing work, but haven't seen the success yet, or maybe think that you have to be lucky to have a full-time income with publishing. And I'll be honest with everyone, the only people who fail in publishing are those who give up.
yeah.
I've known some people, I wouldn't say that they're dumb, but they've had either some terrible questions or they just had a bad attitude starting out, but they stayed on the path, and eventually at some point, after even years of trying, they find success and they make a full-time income from Amazon. So I'd say just keep studying and keep publishing books when you're able to, and don't give up. It's the answer to most questions on how to make more money with publishing is to publish more books, in honest truth. So as long as you don't give up, you keep studying, you find resources that can help you, and you follow those strategies, you will see results. There's really nothing special about most publishers and what they're doing. So just stay the course and build.
Yes, indeed. I also noticed that many times publishers get caught up, new publishers get caught up in such small issues that it's just a really time consuming. Like I remember someone in my YouTube channel talking about the found family he should use on his book, and it's kind of irrelevant. It's a waste of time. It's not important. The most important thing is really to publish books and get started. At least that's what works for me, and that's the way that I started doing more money with publishing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make like a big income from Kindle Publishing, like over 10,000 a month, then yeah, you have to then focus on your production value and worry about maybe the font family. But otherwise, when you're starting out, look at the big picture and just start getting money in. Because once you have maybe 1,000 a month coming in, okay, that's enough money to reinvest and make a real business out of this. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Just one question, because I'm curious about this. Do you actually translate your books to other languages?
You know, honestly, I personally don't, just because I'm already just too busy with everything going on with my publishing business and other things. However, I do have friends, I won't name them, but they're doing very well with Spanish translations. And here's a tip for everyone listening, if they're still on the video: German translations, and also publishing in English in the German market. And I'll just explain why, and I'm sure you know this too, in that in the European demographic, there are more English speakers in Germany than any other country in Europe, even than in the UK. And people don't realize that. So if you can publish your book in English in a market, the German market, which is relatively still new, doesn't have a lot of books, a lot of content, there's a lot of opportunity there, and there's publishers making a lot of money in the German market, even publishing in English.
Okay, that's great. That's a great tip for anyone who is watching this video. Okay, that is all for this video. I would like to thank you for your time to being here for this interview. And I'm also going to leave a link right below to your YouTube channel, so people can go to your YouTube channel, follow you, watch your content, and get all of the great tips that you provide related to Kindle Publishing. Do you want to just say a last thing before we just end this video?
Yeah, all I ask, guys, if you're a fan, if you've liked what you've been listening to so far, I do have a $47 course, but you don't need to buy it. All I ask is you just subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't need to rip you off with a $3,000 course. So all I ask, sign up to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of free content. And if you do need a course, mine's only $47. And that's all I've got to say. So I just like being able to help the community in any way I can and interact with the community and have fun with it.
Okay, that's great. That's very kind of you. Okay, that is all for this video. Please leave a like right below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also make sure to go to Jacob's YouTube channel and subscribe to his channel and watch his video and get some great tips. That is all for now. Stay tuned with Jordan Alexo, and bye.
See ya.